Hello everyone. In this video, I try to analyze the classical federated chess game that I played last night. I thought it's important to analyze a game um, when while it's fresh in my memory. So I'm going to explore my ideas, what went right, what went wrong, and yeah, try to learn something out of it. So I'm playing white in this game. I'm rated 1866 FIDE and my opponent is rated 1478. So it's almost a 400-point gap between us. So theoretically, it should be an easy win. But often I have found that some of these junior players are underrated. And in practice, it's not so easy. I start the game in d4, d5. In my last game as white, I played the Queen's Gambit, and my opponent, who's like 100 points below my level, easily equalized, and I went on to lose the game due to a tactical mistake. So I wanted to avoid the Queen's Gambit and hopefully play a more attacking game against a lower-rated opponent. So I played Knight C3, hoping to play the Jobava London. Knight F6, Bishop F4. So this is the Jobava London setup. C6. Yeah, so this basically stops any ideas of white playing knight b5 and attacking c7, which is can become a bit hard to defend. But at the same time, this it doesn't threaten anything or it doesn't complete development. So I felt it's like it's in a way it's a waste of a move, but it's an opening move, quite playable. I played e3, natural developing natural move that helps development to get the bishop out. Queen b6. This has been played at master level, but I thought it's a bit odd trying to get the queen out, attacking the pawn on b2. Because in the opening, you're not supposed to get the queen out or go after pawns which are nowhere near the center. So I decided to stick to the opening principles and develop the bishop to d3, sacrificing the pawn on b2. So my logic was that if he plays queen b2, I would play knight g e2, and then eventually play rook b1, chase the queen away, and I would be so far ahead of development, and that is enough compensation for the loss of a pawn. But having said that, when I analyzed the game through the chess engines, Stockfish didn't seem to like my move. Stockfish says, I'd rather defend the pawn. I think Stockfish's thinking is that a pawn is a pawn, and he has 1 point. And although I get ahead in development as I did in the game, that is probably not enough compensation for the lost pawn. Maybe Stockfish is correct with perfect play between two computers, but I still feel my move bishop d3 is quite accurate for a human versus human game, and especially considering the low rating of my opponent, because when white gets so far ahead in development, there are so many ways that black can go wrong. Maybe the computer like Stockfish would be able to find the most accurate way of playing for black, but in for a human playing under tournament conditions, that would be very difficult. So my opponent accepted the challenge, castle. So if you look at this position, white has developed four minor pieces. King is castled, it's just one, and white is just one move away from connecting the rooks and completing development. Whereas black is so far behind. Black has three minor pieces not developed. King is not castled, it's stuck in the middle. It'll take black at least three moves to castle and maybe five moves to complete development. So white is so far ahead in development, and although engines still feel black is slightly better due to the winning of the pawn, I felt I fancied my chances here. Knight d7. But one issue I was having is that my pieces don't seem to coordinate that well. Although I'm so far ahead in development, the knight on c3 doesn't seem to have a good square to go to. See, although it's developed, it doesn't have anywhere to go to, right? And knight on e2 only could go to g3, so my pieces and seem to be kind of uncoordinated. So that may be one reason of that engines don't seem to like my idea. So theoretically in this position, since black is so far behind in development and the king is stuck in the middle, white has to open up the position and open up lines to get a direct attack against the opponent's king to make use of the superior development. So the way to do that would be to e4, but I had my doubts because after e4, what happens is d takes e4, knight takes e4, knight takes e4, bishop takes e4, knight f6. And black's, I mean, pieces get traded off, and black develops the knight to a good square with a tempo, and the knight would be eyeing the good square d5 as well, once again attacking my bishop. So it seems black's pieces are finally coming into the game, but still, white is still clearly ahead in development. But how far can I sustain this? Bishop d3, bishop g4. So this is the first real mistake from black. And as I said before, white white is so ahead on development, black can easily go wrong. So bishop g4 allows white to gain the upper hand using some tactics. You can pause the video and try to um, find the move for white. I played rook b1. The queen has no good square to retreat to. Queen a6 is not available, and queen c7 is not available. And any other square, retreating to any other square would allow me to take the pawn on b7, penetrating into the black position, posting a rook safely on the 7th rank. That would be a uh, almost a winning advantage for white. So black had to give up the bishop for the knight. If I take queen takes e2, white's queen gets into a good square, taking my pawn. And I cannot take on b7 because the queen attacks the bishop on f2. But I don't have to take the I take the bishop with the queen. I captured bishop takes e2, and now the queen is defending the pawn. So queen a5, he had to allow me to take on b7. Knight d5 is a very good square for the knight, although I can chase it away from c4. That takes some time. Now the knight is attacking the bishop. Bishop move to g3. These are like forced moves, creating certain simplification. So theoretically, simplifying the position by trading should benefit black because white has more pieces out developed, and if black can trade them for pieces one by one, the white's development advantage would disappear. But still, the fact is, the king is stuck in the middle. It will take three more moves at least to castle safely. That looks like enough time for white to get a winning advantage. Knight c3, queen d2, knight takes e2, queen takes e2, queen takes a2. So black recovered the pawn, but if you look at this position, white has a very strong position. Black is still a pawn up, but the position is so strong for white because rook is on the 7th rank. Uh, these two pieces out of play, king is stuck in the middle, queen is kind of far away, and and the black rook cannot even challenge for the open file. And very soon the other rook, my other rook would join the attack. It's looking bad. So here I thought black could have tried to hang on to the position with a move like rook d8, but still after rook b8, white has a it's a plus minus. That means white has a decisive advantage, but still it's not clear what is the exact win is. I couldn't calculate, but it looked like a winning advantage. But here, as I said before, um, white has many ways of playing due to the positional superiority, but black can easily go wrong. Black played the innocent looking natural move e6, and I had a response prepared. The simple double attack, queen f3, which basically wins the game. It's hard to stop both the threats. There are a couple of variations we can look at. I thought the best attempt would be maybe bishop e7, but then after queen c6, king f8, rook b8 check, rook takes b8, rook takes b8, bishop d8. I have queen d6, rook, king e8, and it's either rook d8 or queen d8 mate. And here, if you play check, if you stop the check with the bishop, then I have queen d6 immediately. Check, king goes to e8, queen d8 is checkmate. So none of that seems to work. Then I thought maybe king d8 might hold the fort for a few moves, but yeah, it's either queen f7 or queen c6 would be deadly. So I believe my opponent played the most natural looking move, queen b1, rook b1. I mean, he might as well resign here. The game is almost over. That's unless I make a blunder, white is winning. But anyway, the game continued. Seventh rank, mate threatened on f7 and then on queen d7, bishop e7, bishop d6. He can't take the bishop because once again it would be sorry. If you take the bishop once again, it would be mate on d7. So he found a good move, bishop f6, blocking the f file so that f7 is now not attacked by the queen. But rook a7, king d8, queen b3. I decided to sacrifice both the pawn and the rook because there's a very clear uh, checkmate, which is yeah, which can't be stopped. So overall, it was a comfortable win. But if he didn't play e6, although it's a big plus for me, if he played something else, rook d8, I think I should have won eventually. But he could have I mean, he could have given some fight. So that's it for today. I hope you learned something out of it.